This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Yo, what's up, Fandemonium? This is Swank coming at you with Season 3, Episode 18. God damn, Episode 18 of this season already. And this is an exciting episode. We're talking about Bills training camp. That's right. Football is back. You're going to hear that about 15 other spots during the season, but it's officially back right now. We're going to talk about training camp. We're going to talk about what the Bills' expectations look like this time last year compared to this year. I got a nice little game we're going to play with the boys. It's going to be a good-ass time. Let's hit this intro. Uncle James said it right. Get the beer ready. It's K-Gun time. Here we go.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with.
What's up, everybody? So happy to be here on a Tuesday night with you fine Fandemonium. As always, I got the rowdy Piper of Reed Twins right over We got Mr. Scotty McGotty, Scooter Magooter. Go ahead, Scott.
Hey, let's go Buffalo. Let's go Midlakes Jr Eagles. We'll get into that in just a second. But welcome back, Fandemonium, FLX Mafia. Love it. Let's get started.
And if you're looking to my bottom, we got Jiggly Jarrod Reed. What's up, Jerry? Go ahead.
FLX Mafia in the house. Bill season has started. It's exciting. A lot of good things. Can't wait to talk to you all about it.
Hell yeah. And as always, you got us three knuckleheads here, but we got John's in the comment. Oh, we got some kiddies in the house.
He just yelled, "Go Bills!"
He did.
Nice.
Sullivan. He said, "Go Bills."
Nice. Well, you muted it like you said the F word.
Yeah, go.
We got John saying "Go Bills." We got Paulette Brown. Hi, everybody. Go Bills. We got Paul Kirkdorfer. We got Uncle James. We got Paul Rossi. We got Patrick Hughes. What's up, all Mafia? Mount up and get to cracking. I love that. We were talking about doing a get to cracking shirt maybe in our little messenger thing. Brent Thomason kind of copyrighted that, patented it, and it's become a sweet anchor for the show. I'm all about it.
Well, the Thomason clan is here apparently, so give us permission to use it, Brent,
Yeah.
and we'll go ahead and take over.
We'll send you an 18-pack, maybe a case.
Eh,
Why
yeah.
not? Exclusive rights.
Yep.
We got our boy Josh Williams saying, "What is up, Mafia? We up in here. Go Bills." We got Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta.
Time delay. There was a little delay on that. Hold on one more second. Let me see. Mike Voigt. What's up, Mafia? What's up, Mike? We got
What's up, Mike?
Buffalo Spartan.
This is Sparta. I didn't think I'd. You got me.
I was giving you a layup, dude.
There you go. When
I got it. Scott
When you
did.
started saying it again, I was like, wait a minute.
We got Uncle James saying St. John Fisher is looking great. I can't wait
Yep.
to get into some of that. We got Diana Kirkdofer. Thomason Clan is in the house. Let's go Buffalo. Oh, man. We got Birdo, Joey Hatch. What's up, my Bills family, brothers and sisters? Ken O'Daniel, Super Bowl or bust. I love it. Robert Badet, Daniel. We got, oh, man. We got everybody hanging here, man. It's so good.
Everybody.
You guys get your opinions and your comments in, and we'll flash them up. You got any topics you want to talk about pertaining to training camp? We got you. That's going to be a good chunk of the first part of the show for sure. And before we do that, we're going to get some house cleaning out of the way. All right. Number one, Jerry, why don't you tell them about the special deal that we're running?
So we have a raffle going on for the next 2 weeks. It's going to end August 8th before our August 9th show. $10 buy-ins. That's going to pretty much what it is we got Midlakes everywhere. Scott's wearing the old Midlakes jersey. Got Midlakes helmets, Midlakes. The Midlakes organization is tearing up their field this year, and the varsity and JV have a place to play, but the Vince Lombardi Eagles, the Midlakes Jr Eagles, do not. So they depend on a lot of the concessions and stuff from their games to help with cheerleading competitions, training for the coaches, new equipment, safety equipment. So that's being taken away because they're not able to play in the field. So we were asked to help out, and this holds close to us because we went to Midlakes. Scott and I played Midlakes football. Swank, did you play Vince Lombardi for a little bit or no?
No, I played baseball when I was a kid. Had aspirations, but my interests went other ways. So.
Could have used your size, buddy.
I wasn't this big back then. I was $165. Actually, I lie, man. I met you guys. I went to a camp in middle school, and I
remember.
met you guys. Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. That's why I
Tight
asked you,
end.
because I thought I saw you there at one point.
Yeah. I was heading that way for a minute, and then decided not to.
That's all right. So Mike Patrick, who had the president of the Vince Lombardi program, had 2 pieces of turf that are available from the New Era Stadium. One's a sideline white and one's a field green. And our buddy Jake, who we've seen, he donated tickets last year to the game.
Yep.
So that we gave away. He was like, I have a great idea. Can you guys help me out? And of course, being Midlakes alum, we said, hell yeah, we're going to do this. So they're putting up 2 1-foot by 1-foot pieces of turf and we're going to raffle them away. So like I said, it's $10 per spot. We'll get the Venmo and Cash App and all that up to you guys later. But $10 spot, buy as many as you want. We're going to spin your name will go on that Fandemonium Wheel of Destiny, and we'll spin that wheel, like I said, on August 9th to see who wins. But that $10 is when you go to the game, it's going to cover a hot dog, a hamburger, 2 hot cocos, and a bag of chips.
Yep.
Like what you would do anytime. So that's why we picked $10. And I can't wait to get this thing going. Midlakes, like I said before, holds a close spot in our hearts. And we can't wait to get this thing going. So if I missed anything, guys, jump in. But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
And it's for kids. Those of you guys that played football when you were kids and young, you don't remember what goes into it and the amount of work it takes for concessions and the amount of work the boosters actually do. You just love the game. And just knowing that as a kid, thinking, well, I might not have a place to practice or play. I might not have the proper safety equipment. I mean, come on, with safety being a big issue in the NFL and football nowadays, that's one of the big things. If money's going to help pay for safety stuff, safety checks, and that's very important. And like I said, it's for kids. They don't know any better. Let's help them out. So for sure.
Yeah, man. It's a win-win-win, right? Everybody wins. I think if you guys don't have a piece of this turf, a lot of you I know are memorabilia heads. I actually, when they started doing this a couple of years ago, I think I got it. Jarrod was before we were even doing this, and he had done these amazing helmets, and I was like, this would be really cool to display your helmets on. And it's a piece of turf from Josh Allen's rookie season, so he's probably spit, blood, or sweat on some of it. You know, it's just like it's a cool keepsake. Mm-hmm. It's cooler than it being in a landfill somewhere, and it's all going to a good cause. We're all alums. You know, we live in the community or close to the community still. It's a cool thing. And Jake's in the comment. He says, thank you, guys. Yep. Yeah, anytime, man. You know, it's a cool cause. And get on it. $10. I think when they came out, I ordered 2, and I gave one to one of my buddies. But I think it was like 25, 30, 40 bucks. I can't remember for a 12 by 12. So it's a deal. You know, if you hit it, you'll be in the green.
Yeah, there you go. And it comes with a little COA card too, a certificate of authenticity. Yeah. So it's pretty sweet little.
And some stickers from 24/7 Buff and Money.
That's what I heard.
Dustin Nichols asked if it was Midlakes, and Jake's right on top of it. Phelps, Clifton Springs, New York. That's the combination of those two towns, Phelps and Clifton Springs, that made the Midlakes. So it is right here in the Finger Lakes area. Yep. We love the Finger Lakes effort, FLX Mafia. And yep, that's our school. The Eagles, the Screaming Eagles.
Yes, sir. The Screeching Beagles.
Sometimes they sounded like that.
So since we're here, we also got another weekly thing that we do, and it's the Fandemonium fan profile. Scooter Magooter, why don't you give them a little bit about our boy, Mr. Rob Mullen.
Rob is one of our guys that are on the show every week. He is a wealth of information, and I actually didn't know where his information, how he knew so much, and why, a lot of fans follow and they got a lot of tidbit of information to give out and stats and all that. But he actually used to talk on a local radio show called Sports Watch. So he was able to talk to people in the Rochester area, fans calling in about topics about our Buffalo Bills. So that's pretty awesome. But Rob is fairly new to our group. He's not one of the OGs, but he's definitely someone that participates on the page, gets involved with our show, and very involved. And he's just a nice guy. I talked to him a little bit, and he loves the page, and we love his contribution. So welcome, Rob. Love it. Rob Mullen, thanks for being a fan.
Yeah, man. I think we came to his existence, and I think he found us in the show through Sunday Sessions. Yeah. Is that where he first popped up, man?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, because he was throwing out some stats and really into it, and I don't know. We really appreciate your participation, man, and thanks so much for being the support of the show and the page, and keep it up, man. We love you to death.
And Swank and Jarrod, I think the reason why we got along with Rob so much and why we enjoy his presence is he's not one of those guys that has all this information and he wants to correct you all the time to prove that he's right. He teaches, gets people involved. He gets people to understand more about something. And he teaches instead of tells, which is huge. He's a wealth of knowledge, and we love it, and that's why I think we like him so much, and I think that's why he's hanging out with us quite often.
Yeah, man, he's a dude that knows it all, but he's not a know-it-all, you know?
Right, right.
And it's fascinating to see him, like, because I'm sure you guys know from being on boards and shows, and a tweet can turn evil and horrible in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know how to read people or whatever, but Rob's one of those dudes where, like, he's not afraid to correct you if you're wrong. He'll come at you with the stats, but he does it so respectfully that, like, you learn something, and it's lighthearted, and I don't know, it's a perfect interaction. And we're real lucky to have him be a part of the page. So
for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the big things. You guys nailed it on the head with him. We like to put our who am I's and did you knows out there for the Buffalo Bills throughout the week. And a new segment that hopefully is going to start next week is something we don't know what to call it yet, but we're going to go along the lines of something you should know being a Bills fan. And we're going to spew out a little bit of information that we all looked up or we all know about the Bills that Bills fans should know or would be awesome to know in your little knowledge bucket that you can throw out every once in a while. But yeah, he's one of those guys, like you guys said, he's there to support and grow this fan base. And that's pretty much what it is. And we love him here.
let's throw it out to you guys, man. If you got any ideas for what we should name that segment, it'll be like a 5-10 minute thing that'll lead into whatever the discussion goes to. But Jarrod and Scott have come up with like some really interesting, like, historical things, some very common knowledge things for anybody that's new to the fan base or a veteran of the fan base that might have had some things slip away. It's super interesting, and we were talking about doing a whole show, but I think we all agreed sprinkling it in from now until whenever, you know, it could be a fun thing to kind of dive into that each episode. So if you got an idea for what we should call this segment, just throw it out in the comments or DM us, and we'll take it under consideration.
And by no means necessary is it a thing to say, well, if you don't know this, you're not a Bills fan. We are the last people to ever tell anybody how much you need to know to be a Bills fan. It's something as simple as you need to know who number 12, 78, and 83 were in the 90s. That's something you need to know as a Bills fan. Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed. Those kind of fun little tidbits.
You know what's crazy? In 15 years, you're going to say you're going to need to know who 17, number 14 is, right? It'll be. I think it's going to be on that same level. We already got him coming in. Patrick Hughes says, on this day in Bills history. Paul Rossi says, Norwood's Nuggets.
Yeah, nuggets, like a little nugget, like a tidbit of information. There you go.
Oh, Ken's going for the dig. Looks like your jersey shrunk like mine, Scott.
It sure did.
No, Ken O'Daniel, we used to call him Deuce. Deuce back in the day, number 2.
Yeah.
He's Midlakes alumni. Thanks, Ken, for watching tonight.
Patrick says, Bills by the numbers. Our boy, Mr. Brian Van Slyke from the Breaking Tables live stream and podcast says, Bills Mafia Membrane, Mafia Mind, Mafia's Corner. Jeez, he went in on it.
I like the last one, just to name a few.
Just to name a few. That's a good one.
If you don't know, now you know.
All right. So before we get into training camp really fast, 2 weeks ago I had this little list game, and I like doing these little stat listy things. And Jarrod, you weren't here, but I want you guys to attempt to name the top 10 passing yard leaders from last year.
Oh, really?
Well, alternate, Scott. You go first, I'll go second, and we'll just go.
Sure.
Okay.
So top 10?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, well, Mahomes has got to be in there.
Patrick Mahomes is 4th with 4,839 yards.
Okay.
Rodgers
is 10th at
Ooh.
4115.
Oh, so you just got that one in. Tom Brady had the most, I believe.
Tom Brady
year.
was 5316. Yes, he is number 1 on this here list.
I got to write these down so I don't repeat. So what do we got?
Yeah.
Brady.
1 Brady, 4 Mahomes, and 10 Rodgers.
And Rodgers. Rodgers, okay. You got the first and the last. You guys go ahead, chip in on the comments if you want.
One of my favorite quarterbacks coming up and rising up pretty quick out of the Chargers.
Yeah,
Herbert.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You got number 2, Mr. Justin Herbert, 50-14.
We might as well keep it in the NFC West. Another one of my favorite quarterbacks. And I love this picture of a competition, a quarterback camp where Josh Allen and Derek Carr were right by each other. Derek Carr is jacked. Josh Allen looks like his skinny ass self. It's hilarious to see how they both matured and become professional athletes, but Derek Carr is one of them. He's one of those guys that I think I love Derek Carr. He does everything and says everything right. He
is 5th on this list, 4804.
Okay. Justin Jefferson had a shitload of receiving yards. That's Kirk Cousins, I believe.
Yes, sir, and that's number 9, 42-21. Sorry.
Herbert. Okay, so we have 5 more.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4 more. 5 more. Yes, 5 more. You haven't gotten number 3 yet.
Allen's got to be 7 or 8.
Who is it?
Allen?
Allen is 8 with 4407. You said Matt Ryan?
Matt Ryan.
He did not make the list. He is number 11 with 3968.
So no Cordell Patterson.
Bengals had a nice receiver over there. They got pretty good yards, so Burrow has to be in there.
2 receivers.
Is correct with 4611. He is number 6. Right now, you are missing the 7th and the 3rd. You guys looking for hints or what?
No, I think I know.
Let's go Matthew Stafford just for the Super Bowl.
Matthew Stafford.
See, I was going the last one. Yeah, I think it's right.
You
said Matthew Stafford?
3 on this list.
I'm trying to think of.
I don't think Kyler Murray's in there. He's not in there, right?
Kyler Murray.
Combined yards, maybe.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's always in there.
Dude, with number 7, Mr. Dak Prescott.
Prescott's always in there. He's always in there.
Is that 10?
Right there. That's 10.
Okay.
That's your jammy jam.
You know who scares me is that number 2 guy, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
He's going to be a force to be reckoned with for the next 10 to 15 years. But we kind of want that, right? As Bills fans, we want to have somebody that's going to be in there as competition. And he's one of those guys who's going to be there.
Yeah. Fandemonium didn't do it too bad either. Good job, guys.
Man. We had some good guesses. You guys were right on it. For sure.
I'm surprised Baker Mayfield's not in there.
Well, he'll be a pass leader this year for the Panthers.
I don't know how much you guys are paying attention to the drama with the 49ers, but they basically said they don't want Garoppolo there anymore. He's going to be paid $30 million. Who's going to take him?
Well, I mean, the biggest team that should consider it, to me, is Atlanta. I think Atlanta should bring him in. I think he'd be good competition for Mariota. Mariota's, I think he's good as a backup. I think he did well with the Raiders last year doing that. Last 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you got Jimmy down there, he might give you a little more consistency. I mean, he's just an average QB anyway. He's another one of those lightning sale New England backup quarterbacks that they got out of there, Well, that one was kind of like the FU from Belichick, right? Like, that's the last one. Right. He just let him go. But, Tom Manweiler says, or the Giants.
Or Seattle,
or the Giants, yeah.
I don't think they're going to mess with Daniel Jones. Seattle will now have Seattle will have a handful of quarterbacks, and they just saw the running back Carson retired after 4 or 5 years because of a neck injury. Yeah. So that'll be interesting there. Going back to Atlanta, I think that's a good spot too. Mariota's there. They did draft in the 3rd round Desmond Ridder. So both, it doesn't matter who's starting there. It's going to be a fixer for at least 1 or 2 years until Ridder can strap the chin strap on and start. But I heard someone today mention the Cleveland Browns after trading and drafting and doing all this stuff with their quarterbacks. But it'll be interesting. I think Houston would be a good spot.
Yeah, I don't think that they're going away from their guy though.
Mills?
Yep, I think David Mills is their guy, and they kind of proved that. They're willing to ride him out. Next year's QB class is supposed to be decent,
Yep.
So I think that's what they're doing, seeing if he can do it, and if they can roll with him, and if not, draft somebody that can do the job.
Mm-hmm. I have 4 quarterbacks going in the first top 10 next year.
You already have that going next year, huh?
You're crazy.
Bro, man, you're into it.
Well, let's get into something that we've all been chomping at the bit.
All right.
Training camp 2022 at St. John Fisher University, right here a little bit northwest of where we are right now, Rochester, New York. I got 2 buddies that went. One of our followers went the first day and told me it was insane and crazy. And then the drummer in the band, Mr. J. Dunk, brought his kid up yesterday and said it was crazy. I've been glued to Twitter and YouTube and anything I can be to get any sort of glimpse or idea of what's going on. But Scott, what are your impressions of the first 3 days of training camp?
My impression of the first 3 days, my biggest concern actually is the Trey White thing and seeing him hopping around, doing the lunges left and right on his bad knee, running with the parachute. He looks good. And he doesn't look like he's holding any kind of joints or anything gingerly, his ankle or his knee or even the other leg, because sometimes the other leg can get affected when you're training one other leg. But that was my biggest thing. And hearing what I'm hearing from Micah Hyde and Coach McDermott and being about our defensive backs, smoke screen or not, sometimes they say things you wouldn't expect with players that aren't going to make the roster. But hearing what I'm hearing out of Cam Lewis, and how he's doing in coverage in regards to Davis and Diggs, and hearing what I'm hearing from who's their other corner there, Dane Jackson. Jackson, the CB number 1, is doing good, and McLeod is where I was going with that too, Swank. I'm hearing good things. I'm hearing good coverage. I'm also hearing that they're doing so good because the defensive line is causing a ruckus. But I think that's everybody's biggest concern is the defensive backfield, and hearing what we're hearing from the higher ups, the front office, and the other players. It seems like we might be okay with that.
Amateur.
Yeah, right. But I'm excited for it. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, we have 3 preseason games. We're going to see a lot of these guys getting reps. And whether the Bills keep 6 or 7 defensive backs based on when Trey White's coming back, I'm really excited for these guys. And McLeod, I guess, has taken a step. He has been in the system. Let's remember, some of these guys like McLeod and Cam Lewis, they've been in the system. So everything that they're being asked as far as playbook wise and the 2 safeties behind them and their backups, they've already have big time familiarity with these guys. They know where they're expected to be. And when that stuff happens, you don't have to worry about so much of the how does it look. You just know what to do. And that, I think, makes the job a lot easier. And the whole iron sharpens iron thing, they're covering Diggs, Davis, Knox, Crowder, all those guys. So I'm excited to see that is what I'm going to pay the most attention to this preseason games are this defensive backfield.
Yeah. One of the names you didn't mention in there, but I know that he's been getting a lot of attention going one-on-one with Stephon Diggs these first 3 days is our number 1 pick, Mr. Kyer Elam.
Mm-hmm. You took it out of me, Swank.
Hey, I'll let you go with it, man. Go ahead. What do you got?
You got it, buddy. Now, just a quick little nugget is he's been covering Stephon Diggs, and Stephon Diggs has been winning those competitions. That is not a bad thing.
No.
Kyer Elam is learning from one of the best wide receivers in the league, and Stephon Diggs is doing this for a reason. He's going 100% just so he can get himself better, but he's doing 100% so he can make Kyer Elam better. And if you didn't watch Stephon Diggs' presser yesterday, especially, this guy's attitude, if you had any sour judgment about him at Minnesota, I don't even know where they got that from, because this guy is all about – the one thing that jumps out at me is he said, I'm not here for my personal stats. This is a team goal game. And I'm here to teach the young guys. What a cancer
this guy is.
Yeah, damn. I'm glad we didn't get him. No, but yeah, Kyer Elam's losing his battles against Stephon Diggs, but who wouldn't? And it's a good thing.
One of the highest paid defensive backs in the league right now plays for the Chargers, and he has been manhandled by Stephon Diggs for years and years is J.C. Jackson. So it's going to happen to Kyer, and he needs to take the shots. Sorry, Swank.
No, it's all right. Yeah, I mean, Stephon said in his presser as much. he is going hard at him, and he thought that his game is coming up. He's a rookie, you know. By the time Stefan did his presser, it was day 2. So, you know, obviously you're not going to have a lot to say about a guy after 2 days of training camp, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What I like is he's going hard. They say that these are contested balls that Diggs is catching, you know. So he's not giving it to him. He's going at him. And I'm going to say, if you're not in that top 10 wide receiver crew with Diggs, maybe you're not making those catches, you know, right away, which is a good sign. Also, what I love is anytime he's gotten beat or had a question, he's going to Jordan Poyer. They say he's been running over midfield talking to Jordan after every single play, being like, hey, what did I do? Where's my position? What can I do? Where's my leverage? And that's what you need. You need a whole team of those guys. And you're crazy if you don't think that him and Trey are getting together like every single night in the dorm rooms being like, okay, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to look for. This is what we got to get done so that you can step into this role. But I'll tell you, one dude that's not going to make it easy for him is Dane Jackson. They say he's showing out, right? Like Scooter was saying. He's having a great camp so far. Yes, 3 days. But we haven't had anything to talk about for months, okay?
Well, Swank, I'm glad you brought him up, because let's not forget what Dane Jackson continued to lock down the wide receivers when Trey White got hurt at Thanksgiving. It wasn't the end of the season. It wasn't the beginning. He took over halfway through the season, and the Bills defense didn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
And it's because of Dane Jackson. So he's a name that you should become very familiar with this defensive backfield. And I don't think he's getting enough credit, and he deserves this shot.
Sure. He deserves a shot. I mean, we're not in pads yet. You know, there was a question earlier. I was trying to save it for when we got to this point, asking about Joe Hayden. There are people on the team that are trying to recruit Joe Hayden to Buffalo, namely Stefan Diggs, Von Miller. There was another big name. If you can get him for a vet minimum, absolutely. He was on my wish list a couple weeks ago, so I don't think it would hurt at all, especially with the way McDermott likes to do things on a rotational basis, getting their feet wet, letting them get in there, not be overwhelmed. You know, you're going to have Micah and Jordan over the top, as always. There's a lot of room for a young corner to develop in this system. So I'm sure they're not going to throw him into the deep end, but they're going to give him exactly as much as he can handle. Look at what they did with Trey White. You know, day one starter, and he's a beast. So what are you guys thinking about the offense and what you're hearing on that?
I'm liking that I'm hearing 13 personnel. We talked last week about our roster and whether or not the Bills would keep 2 or 3 tight ends. Right now, it's looking like 13 personnel with 3 tight ends. I don't know if Reggie Gilliam is going to hold on to that 3rd tight end spot and be the fullback, or if Tommy Sweeney's just going to take it. But 13 personnel, we're seeing a lot of different offensive line schemes. I think with Roger Saffold being out, you're seeing the Bills move these guys around, because a lot of them, let's not forget, a lot of them are guys that are very versatile, can play the guard, center, tackle position. So I think the more reps you can get bouncing around, the more familiarity you can get with that offense, the better. And, you know, this offense is looking good. I think they're going to keep 3 tight ends. I like the way the running backs are getting involved from what I'm hearing in camp. I think this offense, I think they're going to learn quick, and they'll be really dynamic this year.
That offense is, like you said, versatile. So Bean, I think it was yesterday, mentioned something along the lines of how we have Bates can play all 5 positions. So remember how we did our early 53 last week, and you know we had 7 to 8, 3.5, 4.5. Is because a lot of those players, and I think a lot of Bills Mafia understand that a lot of those players on offense and defense are able to move in different positions, so that the roster breakdown of 53 is going to be something weird, because it's not going to be who you expect. It's going to be who the Bills want to be able to move if something happens. And that's exciting. Another thing something about the offense I learned was there's no Xbox systems at St. John Fisher this year. Apparently Josh Allen left his system home. Shakir left his home. So it's all business, and that's a different attitude. And it's they still want to play. They still talk about it. but I think that's a cool little addition to the conversation. Is they're leaving the games at home and they're focusing on something different. And I'm
They are
not saying
playing ping
games are
pong.
bad.
They
Right.
are playing ping pong. Apparently, there's been a couple of arguments. But if you watched our film last week, Jarrod, the show, you're the only one that gave people halves. I think Swank and I
I
were
know.
pretty set in our roster.
Yeah, man, I'm looking
I
forward.
wanted to give you all credit.
Listen, I'm looking forward to the 8 beers that you guys are gonna buy me when my roster comes closest. That's what I'm looking forward to. We got Mr. Rob Mullen that popped on the stream here. Rob, I don't know if you've been here the whole time. If not, I'll throw this up again real quick. But you are the Fanmonium fan profile of the week. And we said a whole lot of really sweet things. Jarrod teared up a little bit. Scott and I had to hold each other for a minute. But we appreciate the hell out of you, man. And thanks so much for being such a great contributor and supporter of the K-Gun and 24/7.
Yes, thank you, Rob.
Frank Mullen wants to know where my jersey is because Scott's wearing his. Scott was a quarterback. Frank, we played, running back, fullback, linebacker. So we got the wears and tears on ours. We got the scars. Mine would be falling off of me if I was wearing it. So.
Dude, your shit talk is the funniest thing to me.
Yeah, I love you, bro. I love you all quarterbacks. Quarterbacks mean everything.
Rob Mullen says, awesome, thanks. Looking forward to the Rager. Now, there's something that we haven't mentioned yet tonight, and maybe before we get too much further into the offensive side of training camp, we can talk about September 3rd, Reinvention Brewing, the second annual regular season Rager. Bigger and better. Who wants to go for it? You want me to do it?
Sure, Swank.
Listen.
I know we'll be wearing those sweet hats that you have on your head.
I surprised the boys with these hats right here.
Oh, yeah, man.
You'll have the three of us hosting this event, the regular season Rager, with our friend Ryan Thomas on the panel. On top of that, you got a whole slew of super fans coming out to this thing. And then the piece de resistance, you got Mr. Mark Maddox, ex-linebacker for the Buffalo Bills. I said it. Hold on.
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back to...
In case you missed that, Mark Maddox is coming to Manchester, New York for the regular season Rager. What?
What?
I love that.
What? So we're raising a bunch of funds for his Help One Foundation via Shout for a Cause, which is a charity for charities put on by the superfans. We're all super excited about the opportunity to hang out, chill out together, have some beers, play some cornhole. We have a jersey giveaway that you are automatically entered in as soon as you pay the low price of $5 for an entry fee. That gets you in and access to all of these people, Mark Maddox, my band, a live stream of this show right here that you're watching right now. And it also puts you in the pot to win an autographed Stephon Diggs jersey.
Mm-hmm.
What?
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 On top of that, we have all sorts of jerseys, helmets, cool stuff that we're going to be raffling off. There's going to be a 50-50 raffle. Reinvention is releasing their Super Fanatic Cream Ale just for that day. It's going to be a crazy time. Please, we'd love to see all you guys. If you can make it, come on up and do it because it's going to be one hell of a time. It's going to be a Rager.
Well, we did it
Rager.
that way. Frankie Mullen said, that's awesome. I'll be there. Frank, like we mentioned earlier, last week, Frank Mullen is from Manchester, Shortsville area. He played for the Red Jacket Indians. And Frankie, bring all your buddies. Let's get this thing going. Let's support the Help One Foundation. Let's support the Buffalo Bills.
Hell yeah.
And the cool thing is, guys, is word has it. I can't confirm it, but I've heard things. I know Soho and they do the homecoming thing every year, and I believe it might be happening for the Pittsburgh game. So my understanding is that big event that they have out there, that's an excellent event. They always get a ton of people there, and it's always a blast. I haven't been, but I've heard. And that's not going to happen for a couple weeks later. So you don't have to worry about that. You can just come to ours if you have nothing to do.
Hey, we got Paul Rossi that sent out a heartbreak emoji. Dude, our hearts are breaking too, man. We wish that you could be there. It was so cool to meet you last year. Paul's also the person that put the Stephon Diggs jersey up for raffle, so you can thank him for that.
Yep.
He's a good dude. And we'll miss you, man, but don't worry, we're gonna do this every year.
Yep.
And you got VIP access to everyone going forward for sure. Kevin says, can we get ticks at the event? TIX, not like the parasite. Yes. We're not doing pre-sale. We're going to pack that place. It's $5 just to get in right at the door. So
Yep.
We're not planning on turning anybody away.
Hell,
yeah,
I know a
hang out.
Steelers fan that might show up. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
maybe we'll turn one person away.
They'll look at him like, what the hell's he doing here?
Mike Voigt says, I definitely want to this year. Work and other life got in the way last year. Yeah, man, we'd love to see you. I mean, the list of super fans alone, we got this guy right here, Buffalo Spartan, going to go full armor for about an hour, then change the jersey and helmet. Still need to find a way to use the facilities without taking half of it off. There's a little peek behind the curtain of what it's like to be a super fan, man.
Reminds me of Spaceballs when he's behind the helmet, he's breathing heavy, and he throws up, I can't breathe in this thing. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. It's 5 days before the season opener against the Rams.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be hyped. There's going to be Mafia, Bills fans all over the place there. I can't imagine the atmosphere that's going to be going on. Can't wait.
I had a little bit of an idea, and I haven't ran it by you guys yet. But what do you guys think about having people share the event for an extra ticket into the raffle?
So if we see that they shared on our social media, then we put their name down, and when they come in, they get an extra.
Yeah. Or we could have like a separate raffle item or something. It's just an idea. We'll figure it out if we want to do it. But I don't know, it might get people to spread it around a little bit. And if you're here and you're coming or you're not, please share the event around, invite your friends. It's going to be a hell of a good time, man.
Go,
Can I ask you guys a question really quick? Dustin Nichols from way back said, how are you guys feeling about the interior of the defensive line this year?
Excited. Very excited. Tim Settle, the
every time you say his name,
person.
I get goosebumps.
Dude, I love him.
I think he had a pick six, didn't he, in camp?
Six, man. Yeah. He had a pick six first day of training camp. And I'm sure that he did not let anybody not know about it. Like everybody on the whole team heard about it. I'm sure all night, the next day, probably today. The little comments that they're having about how like him and Isaiah are like the loudest two dudes on the team.
Micah Hyde was saying that. Yep.
Yeah, but Isaiah's still the most annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Well,
it.
it said Isaiah knows to be picky with his comments and his annoyances, and he knows when to do it. Micah Hyde said Tim Settle is just loud all the time.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
it'd
have
be interesting to see what happens on game day, though. It's like your best friends, like Midlakes football, right? Any high school game that you play in, you grew up with these guys, you grew up with your friends. Some are obnoxious, some are like, but when you get in game time, it's different. It's like Settle. Settle has all these guys, he has friends. He jokes around in camp, jokes around in sessions, but when it comes to game time, that turns off and it becomes something serious. So,
well, I think that's something that's lovable about this whole team, right?
Yeah.
Like, because they're all like, there's a very cool vibe. There's like just this goofy brotherhood. Like Josh Allen signing Dawson Knox and Jordan Poyer's necks, like just goofy stuff. But man, when they're on the field, it's like business for the play. Celebrate if you do something well. Any way you look at it, there's cause for a celebration or a learning point, right? Like either the offense wins or the defense wins. So either you're celebrating because you made the play, or you're learning because you didn't. And there's like 3 guys right there to tell you, hey, man, so instead of doing this, you want to go this way. And if you want to make the spot that you're trying to get, you need to be here instead of here, and you need to do it consistently.
Right.
You know, and it's like fun and games, but work, you know, and I love it. Like, it's so light, but it's so serious. And then they come off the field and they sign all these autographs, and Josh is handing his cleats out to kids that didn't have money for jerseys or helmets or any memorabilia. You know, just like that dude every single day does something where I'm like, he is like who we've been waiting for our whole lives. Like, since Jim Kelly left, man, he is the dude, and he is that guy times 100, more than you ever could have wished for, you know? But
He's the guy the NFL's been waiting for.
yeah.
I mean, a feel-good story, and yeah, it's the NFL's been waiting for this guy, and we're just lucky to have him on the Buffalo Bills. Thank God.
As far as that interior defensive line question, I think we're all set. Bean said it today on WGR. I don't know when the interview was, but he did mention they want to get like players together, so when they do substitute for one another, not skipping a beat. And I think Tim Settle and Ed Oliver are a lot alike, and I think Daquan Jones and Jordan Phillips are a lot alike. So that's one of the positions I'm least worried about, and I honestly can't wait to see the havoc that they bring. Because let's remember, we've already talked about Settle's hype. We already know Jordan Phillips is hype. He's not afraid to say anything. He's not afraid to get the team pumped, and we all know how Ed Oliver is. I think Daquan Jones may be the guy that settles everybody down, but I don't think he's going to be very successful because this interior defensive line is going to wreak havoc.
Yes, sir. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we need to spend a little bit more time on the offense here. James Cook. All I hear from camp is that he is like one of the smoothest route runners and ball carriers that that's just the word everyone's using is smooth. And even Diggs said he sees a lot of like Delvin in him, which is cool. And
he should know.
He absolutely should know. It's one of his good buddies. Played ball with him for a couple of years, and trains with him. So it's that's exciting. It's exciting that piece looks like it's going to work out, and I think that's also allowing them to get these different looks, right? Mm-hmm. The 13, the 22, all that stuff. I'm excited about that. Gabe Davis, they saying he's looking like he could play right now. You know,
and big. He's 220 plus.
Huge, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Put on some serious weight. Took a little bit of flack from it, but it seems like ever since camp started, nobody's talking about that. Like, not in a bad way.
Right.
So, and I also know for all you fantasy football guys, which, by the way, we got somebody who's going to be arranging our league for us. Was Spartan going to do it, or one of you guys or something?
I think Buffalo Spartan mentioned a couple months ago that he wanted to do it. But we'll get the details if we want to do a fantasy football league through 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. We'll see what we can do, right?
Yeah, Don't sound so excited, Jarrod.
I'm out. I quit my league this past year, so I just want to focus.
It's a big commitment. It's like 5 seconds that you got to set your lineup right before the game starts. So, who are you guys excited for?
Offensively?
Yes.
I did see that Devin Singletary worked with the second string, the backups. And I don't want anybody taking that little bit of information and running with it, because I think Devin Singletary for sure is a starting running back this year. Mm-hmm. I think they just want to give reps to obviously Moss and Cook. I'm excited for Cook. I heard a bunch of times he ran out from the huddle right into the slot position. So you don't know what you're going to get with this offense. You don't know what you're going to get. You're going to bring guys in that are going to defend the run because they've got 22 personnel in there with a fullback and the running back. And next thing you know, Cook's out there and there's a mismatch on the linebacker. So I think this offense is going to be something that we've already talked about. It's going to be so dynamic. You're not going to know what you're going to see out of these guys, and it's all in Ken Dorsey's hands.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch because Swank, you mentioned it earlier, Cook, Singletary, they're all training together. So when you have competition come into your same team, and you're kind of questioning if it's going to add some drama within that running back room. But these guys are working with each other. The way McDermott and Bean are putting this team together, it's not personal goal oriented. It's let's get to where we want to go. So I love Devin Singletary, and I think he's going to start. But if he gets his carries cut down a little bit to share with James Cook, they're training together. They know what the goal is. They know what the ultimate prize is going to be. And who cares if you get 100 carries for 500 yards if you're wearing a big old fat ring on you at the end of the season? You know what I mean? So back in the day, it used to be all accolades of who's getting 1,000 yards rushing, who's getting receiving, 5,000. Who cares if you got a ring on you, right? Look at Jim McMahon from the Bears. Look at Hasselbeck. There's a lot of players out there that don't have the stats, but they have the ring. And I don't know if there's a lot of players out there that care as long as they participate and they get what if they participate in the game and they get that ring at the end of the year, that's all that matters. So this is, I think, that team. They don't care what the stats are. They just want that ring, and it's going to mesh well.
Yeah, I mean, I think Stefon Diggs alluded to that, right? Like in his presser, he was talking about how he doesn't have personal goals. He doesn't set personal goals for himself anymore. He's past that. It's like team oriented. He's not worried about how many yards and how many catches he's going to get. He's worried about contributing to the team and getting to where they want to be. And then he put in a little shot about how he told Isaiah that the only reason he gets the ball is because he keeps the defenders distracted. He said something like how he'd die on that mountain or whatever. It was really funny. But I mean, if you have literally one of the top 3-4 personalities, egos, whatever you want to call it, on the team saying something like that with a C on his chest, like that means something. That means that Devin Singletary has no right, and I don't think he would, but I'm just saying like a Devin Singletary or anybody, nobody has the right on this team to say, I want the ball more if they're winning. Right. And if Stefon Diggs isn't saying that, like I think it's a very groupthink, like common mindset among everybody there. And the young guys and the new guys are just learning from the old guys. You got Von Miller, who stepped in like he's been playing on this team for like the last 7 years, So, yeah, I think don't worry about Devin. I think he's going to be the starting running back. I think if Cook cuts into some of his touches, okay, that's not a bad thing. The line that we have now can provide more than enough room and more than enough holes, and I think you're going to feed everybody. And like we said a couple weeks ago, man, how much would you love it if they could just turn it on and off whenever they wanted? If they score 35 on you in the first half and then they just chug you out and make you hate your life, make you hate to be on the field because they're just running it down your throat too. Yep. That's
the offense is running down your throat, but imagine that defense being like, we have a 30-point lead.
Yeah. Pick City, bro. Population U. Sac City, bro. Population U. We have our boy Robbie from Let's Talk 716 Sports saying,
what's up, Robbie?
Scott, hey, what's up with the jersey? And this is a perfect time to explain what's up with that jersey, I think, huh?
It's my old football jersey.
Yeah, it's your old back too, huh?
Yeah. Did you see the read on it? My old broken back. No, Robbie. 24/7 Buff in the morning. We're putting together a donation raffle. It's for the Midlakes Jr Eagles. It's a little league football team that, unfortunately, the school is changing their field around, so they've lost their place to play and concessions. And concessions is where they make a lot of their funds to be able to afford certificates for the coaches, cheerleading competitions, safety checks, equipment, all that stuff. So we're going to put
for the coach. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to put together, we have 2 pieces of New Era Turf that we're going to go ahead and raffle off. It's $10 a spot. You'll see the post on our page tomorrow. $10 a spot. You buy as many spots as you want. And then in 2 weeks on the 9th of August, we'll be spinning that Pandemonium Wheel of Destiny, of which your names will be on when you buy a spot, to see who wins these 2 pieces of turf. So we're raising money for the Little League football team. And we just decided it hits home because it's where all 3 of us went to school. Jarrod and I played Little League, the Vince Lombardi League, and into high school. And, you see the helmet there, Midlakes Screaming Eagles. So we're doing it for them. That's what that's all about.
And there it is, and there you have it. Scott did not change over to a Raiders fan. He's just repping his high school jersey.
Yep. We were white, black, and that Columbia blue.
We got Josh checking in. That was Joey Hatch's boy from last week. He's a newer
Hoffmeister.
guy. Yep.
There you
How's it
go.
going, Josh?
Welcome,
We got
Josh.
Charla saying, good show, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about quick with training camp was Punt God. Punt God, there's been videos from people sitting in the stands. One of the videos, he punted the ball 80 yards. 80 yards.
Yep.
I watched that video many times because I'm like, okay, where's he punting from? Okay, he's punting from the 40-yard line.
Yeah.
What does it land inside the end zone? Nope. It goes
Nope.
way past.
Yep.
Damn. And there's
Perfect.
hang time.
Yeah, cool.
Damn.
I love it.
Yeah, watch the videos. Watch the videos because you'll have a lot of media saying Hawk has the hang time. Ariza potentially could out punt the coverage. Blah, blah, blah. They just want to make a competition out of nothing. You don't draft a guy that has the caliber that he does, and he punts the ball 80 yards. I'm pretty sure Smiley will be able to figure, the special teams coach will figure out how to cover an 80-yard punt.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Ariza's our guy.
You want to take the worry out of being on special teams? Those dudes are going to be able to stroll down the field. Like, they can moonwalk. It doesn't even matter. You're not bringing that thing back.
Nope.
We got Ellen Lartz saying, great show. I was celebrating my birthday. Ellen, I saw
happy
this
birthday.
earlier. She got a personal message on Facebook from our boy Mark Maddox.
Mark Maddox.
And Ellen, happiest of birthdays.
Happy
glad
birthday.
that you're spending part of it with us.
Love it. Welcome. Happy birthday.
So, we're actually running out of time here. We had there you go. That's the fourth member of the K-Gun Report.
Miss Willow here. She loves me a little bit.
Obsessed, I would say.
Ken O'Daniel. I got him from Ken O'Daniel.
Oh, nice.
He breeds these babies down there in Kentucky.
There you go. I've got one of them too.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
So, originally we were going to talk a little bit about what expectations were for training camp this time last year and how they've changed to stay the same going into this year and how last year's team stacked up at that point of the training camp compared to this team. It's 8:56. We don't have time to get all into that, but maybe we could just hit a really quick minute fire each of what we think about that topic. What is the same from the expectations last year? What is different from the expectations of last year at training camp?
Okay. I think I'll go quick. Last year's expectations for me were consistency and playoffs. We made the AFC Championship the year before. Obviously, we played the divisional game this year and lost to the Chiefs. We didn't know we'd be playing the Chiefs this quick. But my expectations this year, a lot of people are saying Super Bowl or bust. And I think after making the AFC Championship 2 years ago and then doing what they did last year and losing to the Chiefs again, I think it is, you hate to say it is Super Bowl or bust. We have a team that is being voted as the best rostered team in the NFL. Power rankings show us as number one. So, if there's no injuries aside and all that stuff, it's expected. It is expected. We are now at a point, we were at a point with the drought where making the playoffs was such a big thing, but there's a point when you start making the playoffs and it shouldn't be what's the hype anymore is making them. It's winning in the playoffs and advancing to the Super Bowl. So I honestly think we're there. So my expectations are a lot higher. You still have to beat those big name teams in the regular season. Titans have our number. They do. They beat us the last 3 years. We play the Chiefs again. We've got to beat those big games, set a tone, make it to the playoffs, and go to the Super Bowl. That's my expectation. I think it is Super Bowl or bust for sure.
What do you think, Jerry?
So, muted. Super Bowl or bust is a hard thing to grasp. In any sports, if you're looking for a championship, every year, it's going to be a hard pill to swallow many years, So Super Bowl or bust is a great conversation topic, but what we preach all the time is enjoy the ride. I do think the Super Bowl is the goal this year, big time. It's got to be the goal. We have the players, and that's what the same and difference from last year is. The same is we're expecting a Super Bowl run. The difference is I think we have a lot more better talent backing up and starting this year. And that's crazy to think about because we've been making this run for the last 3 years, but the expectations are to get to the Super Bowl, play in the game, and win it. But the difference is our roster is loaded. And we always talk about it also is when August ends and September comes in and we're looking at that 53, there's going to be players that don't make the team that we like. And that's increasing every year. So it's going to be just fun to watch. And we always say, enjoy the ride, enjoy all the games, enjoy the journey, because that's what's going to make it count at the end when you could sit back and talk about each game and how we got there. And I guess that's my take. It's the difference is the roster. I think it's loaded this year.
So it wasn't loaded last year?
It was loaded, but this year's even better.
I agree. I just wanted to hear you say it.
This year's more gooder.
It's gooder than it was before.
So the way I look at it is this team very publicly and over and over stated last year at this time that their whole point was to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That point was just drilled in everyone's head from the top down to the bottom. And they tried to make a bunch of moves, to Jarrod's point, to make the roster built to beat the Chiefs. I don't think that there's a focus on that specific goal anymore. I think that they have overbuilt the team to the point where that's not the primary focus. Yes, they want to beat them in the playoffs if they even meet up this year.
If the Chiefs even make it, you're right.
Exactly. But I think that the goal has pushed beyond the Chiefs. They proved last year that they can beat them. But now it's, okay, we need to go all the way. I think it is Super Bowl or bust without the bust. I think if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, they go far in the playoffs. Nobody's going to be pissed off. There are coaches that have been fired for making the wild card or divisional round or whatever, consistently without pushing it into that top 2 layers. But I just don't see that being a thing. I think about Packers fans, man. Packers fans for the last 15, 20 years, you go into the season expecting to be in the playoffs every single year. And how often are you disappointed that you're not in the playoffs? In the last 20 years, how many times haven't they made it? That is such a blessing as a fan to just go in and be where we are. Expectations are the Bills are going to the playoffs. Not just that they're going to squeak in, that they are going deep into the playoffs. And if you ask Vegas, we're winning the Super Bowl. So I think, again, to Jarrod's point, this roster is just built for longevity and to get at the passer and to be a high-scoring, high-flying offense. And with all that together, with the mix of veteran and rookie and, second, third-year players, talent, depth, and coaching, it's absolutely on track to be this year. So I'd say Super Bowl or bust without the bust.
I mean, 2 years, AFC Championship 2 years ago, a game that we were 13 seconds away from winning last year, and 2 teams that we could have beaten. I think fairly. Not, I'm going to say easy. It's the NFL, but we could have beaten the Bengals and we could have beaten the Rams. So AFC Championship to a could have and should have to a now it has to be.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. They got to win tight games.
Yep.
That's where they dropped the ball last year, right? I mean, between the Titans, the Bucks, the Chiefs in the playoffs, like, those are all one-score games that they should have been on. The Steelers game, the beginning of the year, they should have won that game, right? Like, I don't think that you're going to see them come out like that again this year. I think they're going to give the Rams a hell of a run for their money.
And that's the difference between a home field advantage and not, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And week 1 is just as important as week 7. It still counts.
Rob Mullen says home field has to be the initial goal, then focus can legitimately be on the Super Bowl. I agree with that, man.
Yep.
We got a lot of
if we get home field advantage, then it's got to be Super Bowl. You got to get there.
Well, here's the
not
order
only
of
the
events.
players and the team,
Sorry.
but the Bills Mafia. Right
Yeah,
there.
and here's the order, guys. It has to, and we say Super Bowl or bust without the bust for Swank. We do enjoy every game. We prepare every Sunday with Sunday sessions to get ready to watch the game, and we're excited as week 1 as we are 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. But you need to win the tight ones. You need to beat the good teams. AFC East is our number 1 priority. Home field advantage next. You need to take it all in stride, and then that's how you will make it to the Super Bowl. And we'll enjoy every minute of it.
Absolutely. I also want to see a focus, and not that they weren't focused on it last year. It sounds so pretentious to like sit here and be like, they should have focused on these games last year. Like, I'm not trying to do that, but I think it needs to be an extra point. Like there has to be a point made in these meetings that these AFC games, they have to win these AFC games. The games they're supposed to win, the Jaguars, again, the Steelers, these games that, like, you are a monster of a team, and you can't get caught up in the trap games or whatever. Like, you need to go in there and you need to take care of business, especially against AFC opponents, and especially since you're playing the top tier in each division, because you are the best in the East now. And these are guys that you're going to see in the playoffs, and you're fighting for seeding. Like, there has to be an emphasis on that.
I think bringing in the right players is going to play a huge factor in that, Swank, because during a game, you're going to feed off different players and their energies. And we have the guys that are in training camp that are annoying, like McKenzie, annoying, and Settle, and they're always barking. But sometimes you need that. If you need a environmental change or even just a field change throughout the game, those guys who are joking around during practice might be those guys who will be like, listen, I'm done joking around. This is time to get out there and fucking play.
Yeah.
That Jacksonville game a couple years ago. Beep.
Did you hear him?
I think Bean's mixture of not only talent, but characteristics of players coming in is very important. You got to have players that are going to feed off each other, that are going to read each other's energy and bring it all together when times get tough. It's not only talent on the field, it's the mental capacity and where they're going to present the mental ability to get other players to adjust and move, even if it's just a little word that gets them going. So I think this game is just so crazy to watch. It's at any given Sunday. The game's about inches, all those sayings. It's all about how the players interact with each other.
Football buzzwords right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is who we thought they were.
The longest yard.
That's the one.
Rudy.
Yeah, I mean, so I think the mixture of players and the characters in there is the best recipe you can have.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, that's as simplistic as you can make it, right? Front office, coaching staff, players. And they all got to be on the same page, and they all got to have that common goal, and they got to believe it. And I think McDermott and Bean put that into effect the first day that they were there. I think McDermott started it, and Bean came in, and he was gung-ho. They were on the same trajectory the whole time, and they will continue to be, and that's really top down where it starts. Now you got, remember how everybody was mad when they started trading away Sammy Watkins and Darby and like all these dudes where you're like, what the hell, man? Like, these are our best players. And the thing I love, because I hate liars, man. I just hate it. I can't stand it, right? Bean came out and said, give it 3 years. We're doing a 3-year rebuild. It wasn't any, like, BS. It wasn't Rex Ryan saying, we're going to the playoffs. It was, give us 3 years. And they did. They went to the playoffs that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at what's happened in those 3 years. like, you cannot ask for a better, like, foundation, a better management, a better coaching. You can't ask for anything better than what it is. Like, I'm a Bills fan through and through. I would feel guilty if I felt bad they didn't win the Super Bowl last year. I want it. I want it so bad. But if you look at the timeline of this team, like, Jesus, from where they started to where they are now in that short amount of time, like, give me a break. You know, how long did it take some of the greats to get there, you know, to build these teams, to get a ring? And mark my words, man, Josh Allen, he's not just going to have one. He's going to be in it every single year. If that dude doesn't retire with at least 2, if not 3, I'll eat this hat.
I'm with you.
All right, kiddos. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight.
Yep.
Let's do some final thoughts. I'm going to throw this Midlakes Jr Eagles donation raffle image up here one more time. And Jarrod, let's start with you, man. What are your quick final thoughts here?
You got that image over there. $10 will get you in the raffle to win either one of those. We got the green and the white sideline and field turf. It's 1 foot by 1 foot. $10 will get you in for the drawing for that. That's going to help the Midlakes Screaming Eagles, the Vince Lombardi League, get a little bit of cash flow to help out with cheerleading competitions, coaching certificates, education about tackling, and just a whole bunch of stuff for that Midlakes organization. So let's get that going for those guys. And that's going to be a great thing. That's going to go till August 8th, and then we'll put you on the Pandemonium Wheel of Destiny for August 9th, and we'll let everybody know who the winner is. And quick, Kent Hall and Steve Tasker, Hall of Famers. You got to get them in the Hall of Fame. So the 49 people voting on that committee, get that name in your mouth. Let's keep pushing it. Share it. Those guys deserve it. The K-Gun offense was led by Kent Hall at the center position, directing everyone where to go. And Steve Tasker, 7-time All-Pro voting. Can't beat that. Get those guys in there. And I can't wait to see everyone next Tuesday to talk about more Bills camp. I'm going to go Monday, so I'll have maybe something else extra to talk about. So till then, see you guys then. Go Bills.
Where are you camping?
In the back 40.
Scooter.
You know, Micah Hyde spoke today, and he talked about someone mentioned the contracts and all that stuff. And Micah Hyde said for a lot of these young guys, like a Tremaine Edmonds, you go through your whole NFL career, football career, little leagues, college, professional. And Tremaine Edmonds is in a spot where now this is something he's never had to deal with before. And Micah Hyde's advice was just let the agents take care of it. You do your thing, the agents will take care of it. And where I'm going with this is they all started somewhere. The money part is just the business part. Staying with the team is a business part. They all started as little guys playing football, falling in love with the sport. The last thing, I know it hits home because it's Midlakes, but the last thing I hate to hear is that a little league program got canceled or couldn't go forth because of something that someone could help out with. And that's what we're doing. We're going to help out these little guys in Midlakes Jr Eagles with some funds to help them get all those things that Jarrod had mentioned so they can play the game that they love, that they want to learn about, and that potentially someday could provide for them or even just provide experiences and having teammates and having people they can look up to. There's a lot that the sport offers. And for $10 a piece, as many times as you want to donate, you can help that situation out. And so we're going to push this for 2 weeks, and we hope you guys can spread the love, spread the word, and let's get some money for these little guys to play some football. They have no idea. They're naive to this kind of stuff. So let's be the adults and help them out. Go Bills, go Eagles.
Midlakes Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Midlakes Eagles.
I'm going to drop a couple things really quick. Thanks again for hanging out with us. Thanks for all the encouragement and the love that we see in the comments. My boy Buffalo Spartan just posted a little thing, and I saw he posted about it on his social media. Fan of the Year nominations start Saturday, so you can go vote for any of the superfans that are nominated in those categories. I'm assuming that our boy, Mr. Buffalo Spartan, is one of those guys. So please go out there, go to his social media, vote for all of our favorite superfans. Vote them Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget about the Ragers September 3rd at Reinvention Brewing. There's an event out. Go check it out. It lists everything. We got a video that we're going to be putting together. We got some cool little clips from a bunch of super fans, and we'll be leaking them as it gets closer to the event. Also, you can tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the K-Gun Report right here on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can catch the audio version on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere that you get your podcasts. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all that cool stuff that keeps this going. We love you guys. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous group.